All right, finally getting around to installing this roll cage. This is a Rhodes Race Cars 10-point for a 94 to 04 Mustang, I guess it was. I don't remember. Because clearly nobody makes a cheap and affordable roll cage for a Lincoln Mark VIII. So next closest thing was a SN95 style Mustang. So that's what I went with. There's no instructions whatsoever, so I'm trying to piece it together to the best of my abilities here. These clearly are the not really door bars, but the ones that go from the upper halo down past the dashboard to the floor. There's a short guy right here. This is the dash bar, I'm assuming, because there's another one exactly the same size. And I was able to wedge it into the main hoop. It took some work though. I literally had to put my body between each end here and press it up, like almost squatting with it. And there's a lot of force just to get this guy to fit in there the way it's supposed to. There's two of these short guys right here. One of them's already in the car. These are supposed to go down at an angle from the main hoop. This is the seat belt bar. Then I have a set of longs and then a set of medium size. I'm assuming that the mediums are the door bars and that the longs are for the brace that goes from the main hoop to the rear of the car. Not sure though. I'm gonna have to piece it together as I go and figure it out. But okay, here's the roof hoop. I'm using it to hold my door open currently. I gotta do some disassembly in the car. I gotta take the seats and the sun visors and the dash back out, but I'll get to that as I go. I'm gonna go ahead and put the main hoop in and try and get it tacked in, figure out where my seats need to be, if they're gonna work with this or not. And once I have that, an idea of where it all needs to be, then I'll go ahead and take the seats out. But I'm gonna try and make them work together first, figure out what my angle needs to be, and then go from there. All right, I guess I could make a video update on putting in the roll cage. First things first, remove your fucking seats. They're gone. Remove your center console. It's gone. Remove your dashboard. Take the top off. Little vent cover here. There's a bunch of bolts underneath of it. There's a bunch of bolts on the bottom. Haven't got them all out yet, but you have to take the steering column out. You have to take this little guy out. There's not actually many videos on removing a dashboard from a Mark VIII. I'll go ahead and just do like the wave tops, because clearly mine's already out. And I'm not putting it back in just to make a fucking video. So you don't have to take a shifter out. You just need to put it all the way back in one to clear the dashboard when it finally does come loose. Gonna unplug the transmission wires. Obviously there's gonna be these two nuts here. There's gonna be a little bracket that goes in the corner here. Take that out. There's gonna be this big nut that's here. There's also one that's hidden. It's back here, so then you have to take one of the modules out to actually get to it. You got all the bolts that go across the top underneath the cowl. You got to take the steering column, drop the steering column, take the steering shaft off, obviously. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, unbolt this plug. It's 10 millimeter. I went ahead and removed the ECU, that way I had more access to get my hand in here to mess with this, but there's a big plug that goes back there. You have to go underneath go in the engine bay, remove a couple plugs in front of this guy. It's 10 millimeter, it backs out, and then what you're left with is the female plug on this side. You have to, there's little locking tabs on each side. He's gonna depress it with the screwdriver, and then it'll give you enough room to swing out and then pull it out. But yeah, once that's out, it'll slide forward. What else? There's a bunch of little wires over here you gotta disconnect. Advice, just do it slow. Pull it out a little bit at a time, find something that's holding you up, and then unhook it. It'll come out though. Oh yeah, there's a big nut over here as well. Mine, the whole stud came out right there. Whatever. Yeah, that's what we got. So now I'm gonna start putting my roll cage in. Oh, these wires, this is, I had an issue one time where the immobilizer was going off and it wouldn't allow me to start it, so I ran a jumper wire to the starter, so that way if it ever happens again, I could just touch these 2 wires together, fire it up without the immobilizer fucking me up, but it's since fixed itself. Yeah. Gonna the roll cage in here. I just need to figure out where it needs to go and weld it in, tack it in. Got a lot of work ahead of me. Alright, so this is what we got. I'm zip tying it up here to hold it in place so that way I can mark the back of the hoop. I got this Pipe Master 1 3/4 tubing marker I got off Amazon. Push it over there, back it up, mark it. Now I know where I need to notch these tubes. I did the same thing on that side. Now I'm gonna cut it down, pull it out, notch it, put it back in there, and test fit it again. Hopefully soon I can tack it in there and get the rest of work on the rest of it. Just a little quick update. I haven't recorded much because I've been busy. I'm trying to get this shit done tonight. But I went ahead and cut the holes in the floor, dropped the roll bar down so that way I can finish welding the tops of each of these joints. I do some paint on it too. Just did a quick rattle can spray job. There's overspray. Yeah, I don't fucking care. If I cared about this car, maybe I would take some time and tape some things off, but I really don't. So, surprise, surprise. I still need to do the kickers in the back. Still need to do the angle bars down to the tunnel. Then I need to fit the dashboard into it. But when I get back, I'll go ahead and put this up, put the plates underneath of it, weld it solid to the floor for the first time. This is what I was hoping to avoid, but whatever, here we are. So no amount of trimming on the top here allowed the dashboard to fit, mostly because the roll bar goes right where this brace is, and then the dash bar goes across right where all this stuff is. So I'm going to dismantle the dashboard piece by piece and then try and reconstruct it in the car piece by piece. And whatever I can't fit, I'll trim and cut, see if I can splice it, make it work. If still can't get it to fit, then I'll just figure out a way to do without it. The formula that I end up having to use to make this, start making this dashboard fit in there. Obviously, with the roll cage in, none of the mounting brackets over here worked, so I had to hack them off and just weld it solid. Do a little, if I had hindsight, I should have left this long and I could have used it to weld to the cage, but I mean, I had enough bite back there. Got a weld on there. That's gonna be plenty for this. That's because I still have this bracket here. I'm still gonna be able to mount it there. That side's fine, it still mounts just like it should. So I got this bracket here. I did have to trim out because this used to bump up right here, just like that one did for the airbag. So I had to trim that out to make it fit, but didn't have to cut it all the way out. As far as HVAC stuff, had to do a lot of hacking. These feed the main vents in the center. Had to cut that off because it wouldn't fit otherwise. The vent, the leg that goes down here, as you can see, I had to cut that off. I tried to use a reciprocating saw. I learned from my mistake. That was just so jagged, it just kept breaking stuff. Which leads me to my next thing. Unfortunately, all the shaking broke off the lever here for the defrost control. So I drilled a hole through, I don't know if you can see it, drilled a hole through there, ran a string through it, drilled a hole through the flapper door. So now if I need defrost, I'm just going to pull this string and tie it off, and I'll have defrost. Works pretty good. Made it this far. I'm not going to let HVAC fucking stop me from finishing this up. So it's a quick video of the Amazon vice clamp on tubing notcher I got here. Honestly, the thing's pretty badass. It's very thick, very robust. It doesn't have any flex to it whatsoever. Essentially, you throw it together in the packaging, clamp a piece of tubing in there, and then this thing's a little bit dull now because I've been using the shit out of it, but it doesn't come with a bit, obviously, but I have the, this was a Milwaukee hole dozer I got from Home Depot. It screws right on, the threads are perfect for it. Screws right onto the little adapter that comes with. And yeah, you just tighten my vise up apparently. Everything's starting to flex. There we go. This tubing was already notched on the other side. I just had to make it a nice even notch, but I mean, look at that. That was quick, easy. It's even got a little graduated scale here. Loosen this bolt and you can twist this to any angle you want. I like it. All right, so obviously I skipped a few steps in the video. I'm just trying to get it done, knocked out. Cages in, got my seats in. So as far as the dashboard goes, I ended up having to gut a lot of it. The tray that holds the speedometer and everything doesn't fit correctly, so it kind of just sits in there for right now. Also, none of this fit in there correctly anymore. Broke my radio, so I'm waiting to find another stocker to replace it with. A lot of the vents had to be cut out. Airbag didn't fit anymore. I will be able to get the glove box back in. I'm still working at that. I need to tuck these wires up there and zip tie them to something, and then I'll be able to put the glove box back in. But the idea here is I'm going to eventually get one of the digital displays that are flat and use that for my speedometer and tack and everything, so I'll be able to do away with this mess here. But got my 5-point harness installed. I used the original bolt for the original seat belt, which I left in here because some states have laws where you aren't allowed to run a 5-point harness on the street, so I have this just in case. I didn't have to do much trimming. Obviously I haven't installed the door bars yet. I'm gonna wait until I have a swing out for them, a quick release swing out. But these go back, I wish I didn't put that up before I videoed, but these go back to just beside the shock towers with the plate, and they're welded in there. Yeah, other than that, it was a very difficult install. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Didn't fit very well. I ended up using, since obviously this car is wider than the Mustang is, the dash bar was too narrow, so I had to use one of the, I believe it was a door bar for the dash bar, one of the longer ones. Other notes, I put this up too high. I should have had it down here lower, in line with where the seat belt was going to go through. I don't know why I welded it here. It was late. Actually, this was the stock, this was the factory, or this was the piece that came with it that was already cut and had the ends beveled, and that's where it showed in the instructions to put it. That's why I did it, but I should have trimmed it down narrower to fit it down here to be in line with the seat belt, but it's not too consequential. Other than that, see how it went back together. And with the doors closed, you really can't tell. You can see when you're looking for it, but from a distance, and especially when I put some tin on it, you'll never even know it was in there.